Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how veganism contributed to my eating disorder, specifically as it started anorexia. So I first want to put a trigger warning on this video. Trigger warnings don't often work, but I do feel that I have the responsibility as someone who puts stuff out on the internet to put a disclaimer and a trigger warning to let people know that if you are struggling at all with disordered eating or an eating disorder, then I really don't recommend watching this video if you could potentially be triggered by it. Disclaimer, I'm not going to hate on any vegan person freely. I do want to say that these are my opinions. Opinions are not facts. I am not a doctor at all, so I'm not saying if you should not be vegan or be vegan. I can't stop you, but yes, I'm just going to be talking about my experience with veganism, the vegan community on YouTube, and yeah, let's get into the video. So the first time I ever really experimented with veganism was when I was in 5th grade. So back in about 2015. I didn't really know much about veganism at the time, but I decided to go vegan for a week. I really don't remember my intentions, but I think I remember making it. I started on a Sunday and I made it until a Thursday. Basically just ate what I would normally eat. I've never been a big meat eater at all. I hardly ever eat red meat. If I do eat meat, it would be like turkey. Yeah, I just don't like meat. I don't like the texture. Honestly, it has nothing to do with loving animals. It's just, I don't like the taste, honestly. So I think I probably bought like a bunch of vegan items, you know, complete cookies, those Lenny and Larry's protein cookies, probably a bunch of almond milk, vegan ice cream, stuff like that. Yeah, I was really just doing my normal diet. I had not really ever heard of people doing raw vegan or eating extreme amounts of carbohydrates. I never really heard of that at that age. So I think I went on and off vegan for a long time. I did label myself as vegetarian for a very long time, and that did have to do with my emetophobia, which is a fear of vomiting. So ever since 2012, I've had eating disorder-like tendencies. And when I say those, I specifically mean anorexic tendencies, because my emetophobia was a whole different type of eating disorder. So finally in 7th grade, I really don't remember what exactly made me do it, but I had been on and off vegan for a good amount of time, and finally I just did it. I went vegan, and I went hard, very hard. I think probably the biggest reason I went vegan was Freely the Banana Girl. I used to watch her before I went vegan with my best friend Kate. She also has a YouTube channel and she's still vegan to this day. Obviously, she's a healthy vegan. And I used to laugh at her and be like, oh my gosh, that's an insane amount of fruit. It was almost like comic relief. It was just really entertaining. I thought it was funny. I didn't really think much of it or think that I could ever do something like that. So again, when I first went vegan in 7th grade, so 2016, I was incorporating a lot of vegan foods. So it wasn't like I was eating a lot of plants or, you know, tofu or anything. I was just eating vegan versions of what I used to eat, which would be like cereal, pasta, lots of vegan sweets. I made my own vegan recipes and a lot of smoothie bowls. Veganism was first really enforced in me when I heard Freely say, Freely the Banana Girl, if you guys don't know who she is, then I don't actually know why you're watching this video, but she is basically an extreme frutivore. I hate that fucking word. But anyway, she eats a lot of fruit. She ate 50 bananas in a day. You should check it out. Actually don't, but I mean, it's entertaining. Freely said that it was impossible to gain weight on carbs, specifically fruit. And I was like, holy shit, that sounds amazing. It excited me. It was something to focus on and obsess over. And mind you, I was just getting out of a long period of time where I was just in and out of the hospital all throughout 6th grade. And I was kind of over that, and I wanted something new to focus on besides always being depressed. And I really found that veganism was that little cinch for me, and I felt pretty good when I was first on it. I remember in early 7th grade, I started skipping gym class. I wouldn't just not show up, I would literally just sit on the bleachers and say I didn't feel well, and I wasn't lying. Now, of course, at first this was my POTS. I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which is an orthostatic intolerance with blood pressure and heart rate. But eventually it was definitely malnutrition that was making me skip gym class. We had to run 2 laps around the gym, and by the end I would literally fall to the floor because my legs, the orthostatic intolerance, all the blood rushes down to your legs. I would literally just drop to the floor and be incredibly tired and dizzy. My science teacher said I could be anemic because I'd been vegetarian for so long and was now vegan, so I checked that out. My iron levels were fine, so it was kind of just blown off. So when I first started being vegan, like I said, I focused on vegan replacements and not plant foods. And what Freely said really stuck in my head, but I took it to the extreme. If I lived by the law in my head that if it was vegan, I could eat whatever I want and I would not gain weight. And this was just, it was like an epiphany. Like, oh, well, I could finally live my life. I would never have to worry about my weight. I could just eat whatever I wanted. It would be fine. Veganism on its own is restrictive. We live in a society, at least in the US we do, where animal products are everywhere, and almost everyone eats animal products. So veganism by nature is a restrictive diet, you know, milk, eggs, meat, fish are all excluded. And I guess that's really what started the anorexia a little bit. So at first I would just, you know, I would count my calories still. I was still trying to lose weight, but it was vegan. As long as it was vegan, it was fine. I remember one time after a basketball game, we went to get ice cream and I was really excited. I got non-vegan ice cream. I was like, I'm hungry. I've been restricting so much. I want real ice cream. And then I got it and I got to the counter and I burst into tears. I couldn't eat it. So then I went back and got my vegan ice cream and I ate that. My parents now say that they just thought I was being dramatic. They just thought I was being weird. Oh, silly Kate, she's overreacting. But really, it was a fear of animal products, that I would gain weight, a deathly fear, that I was willing to starve myself for it. So again, it is not the veganism that contributed to my eating disorder, it is the restrictive-like nature of veganism and all of my predispositions that I have had in my lifetime. When I got to treatment, veganism was not an option for anyone, no matter what, unless you were deathly allergic to all animal products, you could not be vegan in my treatment center. And I am so happy that is true, or else I would still be very, very stuck in my eating disorder. My main fear foods, when we did a fear food chart, when I was in my treatment center, were all animal products. And other people having fear foods like high calorie things like ice cream and peanut butter, I was like, well, those are fine as long as it's vegan. And really, my main drive to not be vegan when I came out of treatment was that there were more low-calorie, non-vegan options. My identity at school was the vegan girl. Everything I ate was vegan. I would talk about it all the time. I remember carrying around a coconut, an actual coconut with a straw in it, from class to class, and it's just, oh, there goes Kate. She's vegan. I would bring all of my own food on trips. We went on a trip over the summer about a month before I was admitted to my treatment center, and I brought a blender with me. I brought large amounts of fruit. I had to go to the grocery store every day, and I loved it. I loved having this huge control because I felt like I could eat whatever I wanted. That was the false eating disorder rule in my head. What started as just watching Freely the Banana Girl and laughing at it turned into me adapting her food habits, eating large amounts of fruit at one time, and really obsessing over vegan influencers. I would watch what I eat in a day till my eyes rolled out of my head. I loved watching what people were eating. I loved watching people eat, and I also obsessed over watching mukbangs that weren't vegan. I loved pretending that I could eat those foods because I was so deprived from them. Now, eventually in treatment, they did not want me to be vegetarian, and we had a pasta meal with meat. I tried to bite, I cried, but I still got through it. Now I do eat meat, not a lot of meat, but it is hard for me some days. I still get extremely excited around large amounts of fruit, which is kind of strange. I still obsess about vegan foods. I still watch vegan what I eat in a day. It's still in the back of my mind that, oh, well, when I grow up and I don't have my parents, you know, I can be vegan, I can restrict again. And it's just a really hard mindset for me to have. Now, I have a video on my YouTube channel. I think it was the third video that I actually made. It's like 2 minutes long, and it's a slideshow, and it's called Why I'm Not Vegan Anymore. I made that video before a lot of YouTubers were coming out about why they weren't vegan. I do want to say that in my sick mindset, I would not have chosen to not be vegan. It was forced. Like I said, I am glad now that it was forced because I don't know where I would be today. I do not blame veganism on my malnutrition. I was also eventually restricting calories and just only eating vegan food. But I think the main harm of it is the obsessive thoughts. Now, I could make a whole other video about being vegan in recovery and if that can even work. You can often blame your eating disorder on veganism. People with eating disorders often go vegan as an excuse to not eat as much and to only eat lower calorie foods such as fruits and vegetables. I do want to do more videos on this topic in the future, but this is just a little overview about how it affected my life. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram is katefox167 and my recovery Instagram is katefoxrecovery. I also have a TikTok, if you are wondering. It's okay sweaty. That's OKAYSWEATY. It is a drawing of a monkey is the profile picture, if you were wondering. But yes, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.